got problems. Boom, she got problems. Only I got 411 problems. He got problems, she got problems, only I got 411 problems. Hey, hi, what's up, y'all? It's time for another story time, and welcome to I'm in Love with the DJ. I'm in love with the DJ. Not really. Anyway, this story time kind of coincides with the Why I Stopped Drinking series. You were kind of introduced to this person. I don't even know if I gave him a name. Did I? I think I just called him DJ. You kind of introduced to this person in the Why I Stopped Drinking series in Senior Party. Because he was the DJ in Senior Party. And I think I had given y'all like a little bit of like a little background to it situation. And then I was like, it's another story. So here's the story. So anyway, so yeah. So I met, we're going to call him DJ. I met DJ through my sister. DJ is my sister's brother. We are not related. Seems like I told this story already, or maybe I told it in my head. But we are not related. We're not related. Me and my sister are related through our mother. Him and my sister are related through their father. We are not related at all. So it's not weird. Don't look at me side eye. It's not weird. I promise. But anyway, yeah. So my sister used to go get, DJ and his sister, because they're her siblings. So she used to go get them, and they were kind of on the age of me. They were younger. DJ was closer to me in age. I think DJ might have been a year older than me. Maybe. Somewhere there. I know DJ was closer in age to me, and his sister was younger. But my sister used to go get them to spend time with them. And she would, bring them to the house. And when she brought them to the house, of course, because they were closer in age to me, we would all, play together or whatever. But she would still, spend time with them or whatever. So that's how I met DJ. Me and DJ knew each other. Once my sister graduated from high school, because as I told you guys, me and my sister are 10 years apart. So once she graduated high school, I didn't see them anymore. Kind of before them, because her life had got kind of busy, because it was she got married. After she got married, it was literally like a whirlwind. My sister was graduated, married, bye. She was out, right? So yeah, so it was I really didn't see them anymore before she graduated high school. I think once she started working, big time, majorly working, she had stopped going to get them. And it wasn't that she didn't want to. It was like I said, she got busy. So yeah, I didn't see them anymore. Nope, kind of lost touch. So the next time that I ran into DJ again was at the senior party. And so DJ at this time was a big time DJ. He was highly requested at all the parties. He was very popular. And he was going by a name that I didn't know. So at this point, when classmate, I don't think I gave her name then. I think I said classmate. So my classmate was telling me about the DJ. I didn't know anything about the DJ until she introduced us when he showed up. And so she was like, girl, you could have got me a discount. And I was like, girl, I haven't seen that boy in years, which I haven't. Excuse me. So at the end of the party was when he was like, page me sometimes. At this point in time, we don't have cell phones. It's pagers. So he was like, page me sometime. Let's catch up. I haven't seen you in a long time. Because, mind you, DJ was attractive. DJ was an attractive young boy. If that makes sense, because DJ was the junior groom and I was the junior bride in my sister's wedding. So as we are walking down, like at the rehearsal, they were making like this big deal. Kids our age, they were making like this big deal, like me and DJ were husband and wife, and we were together, and we were boyfriend and girlfriend. And literally, we wasn't, like, we was just talking or whatever. And we were going over like our parts to walk down the aisle or whatever, and even like the I don't know, the praying part, because it was like like the altar that the bride and the groom sit on. Like we was imitating that part too. I don't know why, because we didn't have to do all that. But we was imitating that part too. And this other little girl had kind of like walked in, and so she was like, oh, let me not interrupt. Like kids back then, because it's like we're in a church, like we're fully it wasn't even nothing like that. We was just like, I don't know, like we was just imitating it. It wasn't even like we were interested in each other. We was just imitating, because we would make jokes and stuff too, like about being the junior bride and the junior groom. Like we were making jokes. We wasn't even into each other. We were kids. Anyway, so once we had got to the party, like we was reminiscing or whatever, and again, now that we are seniors, older, things have sprout. Well, I had already had butt and breast anyway. Breast started coming at 7, so, and the butt was there since I was 2, since I was born, so I'd already had it. But he was like taller, he was filled out, like it's like, oh, DJ kind of cute or whatever. So he was like, yeah, page me, like let's come to this pool party. He had invited me to another pool party, which wasn't the same day. I think it was like 2 weekends away, and everybody was talking about this pool party. And so classmate, I think I'm gonna have to give her a name. Well, not really. No, I don't. Classmate was like, girl, yeah, let's go to the party. She was like, everybody's trying to get to this party. Everybody's trying to be invited to this pool party. And because this pool party was in the city, her party, of course, was in the country. And we had ended up getting the dancers to come there, who were overrated, may I say. And like her party was cool. It was turned, but it was like, ew, they made the party absolutely horrible, and people started leaving. You have to go to that story time to know what I'm talking about. But this pool party was in the city, and so she was like, girl, yeah, everybody's trying to get to that party. Everybody's trying to get to that party. Let's go to the party. I had never been that type. Like, I've never been the type of person to feel like I need to go to a party. I need to show up. I need to go, like I need to hang out. I'm the type of girl, I've always been the type of girl where it's like, let me rub my feet together, honey. Let me watch TV. Let me stay at home, because I don't really care about the big major crowds, because to me it's like something is always going to pop off. There's never been a peaceful type situation at any large event. For me, it's like I'd rather be home safe than sorry. When it comes down to like parties, so to speak. Now, what's going on right now, what's hot right now is the trail rides. I absolutely love to see all of our people get together, and hasn't been any issues as far as I know. I think it was one where there was one issue, but majority of them, they get together, they line dance, and they having a good time. They showing the countryside, because the country people love the party, baby. We do. So big ups to them. But previous, like me in high school, was like, and it was like, girl, we trying to get to the party, girl, come on, we trying to get to the party. So it was me, classmate, and another girl. Seemed like it was like 4 of us. Maybe it wasn't. Might have just been 3. It was me, classmate, and another girl, right? And we end up, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll come to the party. And so he was like, not text me, page me when you get outside. And so I'm like, how am I gonna page you? And he was like, figure out a way. So there were like mobile cell phones, but those mobile cell phones were very, very expensive, and they were very, very huge. They were literally like in a phone case, and only a very few people have them. Like high school students, none of us had cell phones like that. None of us had cell phones like that. So yeah, so it was like, he was like, find a way, and I was like, yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work. And so I was like, why don't you just leave my name at the door? And so he was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And I was like, okay, yeah. And I was like, and leave and tell him like any guest that I bring in, like it's cool. He said, okay, yeah, I'll do that, because like he's like he's the DJ, and so I was like, let them know like I'm your guest, like whatever, right? So he was like, okay, yeah, cool, that'll work. So I got to. I got to, like, at this point in time, coming leading up to the party, like we was talking on the phone. At this point in time, phone calls from the country to the city were long distance, so they cost. They cost. So I was like, I didn't call him all the time because it was like, this is a long distance call. So he would call me. So, because he was like, my DJ business is doing good, so I can afford it. So I'll just call you. So I was like, okay, cool. So he ended up calling me, right? And like, so he would call me and we would be on the phone all the time. So he would be on the phone like all the time, right? So yeah, so it was like, okay, cool. So it's 2 weeks, like coming up to this party, we're talking, making all these plans, having a good time, catching up. Like we kind of digging each other, but nothing is made official at this point in time, right? So we get to the party, and once we get to the party, when I tell you, the party was packed, like it was everybody who's from the city was there, and I was like, oh my god! Now when I tell you, if something popped off in the city, they were shooting. I'm sorry, they were pow-powing. So it was like, but classmate and I don't even know who the other homegirl and classmate and homegirl, baby, they was excited. They was like, yes, because they go out more than me. I told y'all, like I stayed at home. I couldn't go out anyway. Like it was an issue with Nightmare letting me out, and then once Nightmare was gone, it was like my mom did this flip where it was like, oh, you can't go out no more. I don't know. My senior, it was like, no, like I couldn't do nothing. I don't know. So anyway, so yeah, so me being able to go out, like very rare. So when I did ask, I think she would let me go, but it was just like I had to be home by midnight, which was crazy as a senior because all my friends didn't even have a curfew. Their parents was recognizing them as like adults because they're about to leave. Yeah. Anyway, so everybody who's was at this party. This party was, when I tell you, everybody was there. Everybody was there. So I was like, oh my god. So I go to, they was like, let's go in, and I was like, girl, I don't know, but like, cause it was like time we pulled up, people were like leaving out of the party, and I was like, we just got, well, the party, let's just say the party started at 7 and we showed up like around 9. Let's say that, right? So you know how I won't say fashionably late, but I'm saying like more like make an entrance. You know how we do. But anyway, so we showed up, let's say around 9, and people were starting to leave, and I was like, girl, what's, like, when people were leaving, I stopped somebody. I was like, what happened? Like, what's going on? Like, the party is over. And they was like, girl, no, they just got the fighting and we all leaving. And again, they was like, man, and it's crazy because the party was hyped too. So I was like, dang. And so I was like, well, let me go to the door. So when I went to the door, the person who was on the door, I was like, hey, like, I'm here for DJ. And so he was like, what's your name? And I was like, Angel. And so he was like, I don't know nothing about that. And I was like, okay. So I'm standing outside the gate because he was supposed to tell whoever was at the door that I was his guest. So I'm standing outside the gate, me and my homegirls, and me, classmate, and homegirl, like, we looking crazy because he was like, I don't know who that is. I don't know who you are. Like, move around, right? So it was like, okay. So I go back on the side of the fence, and like I can hear the music, I can hear him DJing. And so when I found someone, I was like, I need to find somebody with a phone so I can page him. So I find somebody with a cell phone. I was like, hey, do you mind if I page, if I page my boyfriend? And he was like, and I was like, it's the DJ. So he was like, oh, the DJ your boyfriend? And I was like, yeah. And so he was like, oh, okay, oh yeah. Cause he had the party hype. Yeah, you can page your boyfriend. And so he was like, you just gotta stay right here. And I was like, yeah, no problem. So I paged him, and he called me back. And so when he called me back, and he was like, where are you? And I said, I'm at the front door. And the dude at the front door said he didn't know who I was. And so he was like, well, don't worry about it anyway, because I'm getting ready to start breaking stuff down. He said, but I'm going to shout you out to let you know that, I know you're here. He was like, just wait on me. Just wait on me. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I, hung up, gave the dude back his phone. When I'm telling you, like, the cell phones are huge. They're huge. Like, they're not that big, but they were huge. And I was like, thank you. And so he was like, I don't believe that's your boyfriend anyway. And he was like, but I'm going to let you use the phone because you cute. And I was like, he's supposed to shout me out. And so literally, the time I said that, and he was like, shout out to my girlfriend standing outside the gate. The guards wouldn't let her in. I was like, he was like, oh, okay. Like, he's like, okay. And then so my classmate and her girl was like, that's your boyfriend. At this point in time, we have not made anything official. Nothing is official, but I use the title because you know how people, I'm not going to be like, can I just page the DJ? Can I just page the DJ from your phone? Like you got to boost it. You know what I mean? Like, when you're trying to get into the hospital and your best friend in the hospital, you be like, that's my sister. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so like that. And so they was like, oh, like we haven't made anything official at this point in time, but it was like people was just hyping it up or whatever. So anyway, so he came out of the party, and when he came out of the party, like he had jumped, like I can actually see him because before he came out of the party, he was like, Angel. So I was standing at the gate around the pool, and I was waving at him, and so he was like, you got here late. And I was like, I'm always fashionably late. I won't say I'm always fashionably late, but I don't know. Like I don't show up to stuff like that. Anyway, and so he was like, I'm coming. Like wait on me. And I was like, yeah. And so he had jumped in the pool a couple of times. Then he had completely broke down his equipment, and then he came on the outside. So when he came on the outside, he people was telling him like how his set was good, and they was like, we respect your set, like that's what's up, like we appreciate the music, like we had a good time, like we sorry like the party had to end early because I think the party was supposed to stop like at 11, but because of the fight or whatever that happened before we got there, they shut the party down. So he was like, meet me at the door. So I walked towards the door, and the same person that was there who was like, nah, I don't know who you're talking about, he was still there. So he was like, you back again? And so I just stood there. And so when he walked out, and he was like, what's up, DJ? Like, you had a great set or whatever. And he was like, why didn't you let my girlfriend in? He was like, she didn't tell me her name. She told me, like, she just, like, the DJ is her boyfriend or whatever. I said, you a liar. I did tell you my name, and you told me you didn't know anything about that. Oh man, my apologies. He was like, this stuff had just happened. My mind was kind of flustered. I'm sorry, my bad. He's like, all the girls was saying that's that's their girlfriend, that's their boyfriend. I was like, oh okay. I said, but what name did he tell you? He's like, man, oh my bad. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's whatever. So we walked away, and he was like, all right, man. He was like, see you later. Have a good night. Stay safe. Cause he was a cop. So we walked away, and as we walked to the car, like we're standing in the parking lot, like we're just standing there talking or whatever. And so he was like, "Well, since you missed the party and since you missed my set, you want to go eat? Y'all want to hang out? You want to go eat?" And so I was like, "Yeah, that's cool. I don't have a problem." So he was like, "Yeah." He was like, meet me at." He was like, "Where y'all want to go eat at?" Because we're looking at the time. The city, what? It was more city than the country, but really everything closed at 11. So we're pressed for time. We're kind of pressed for time. Not really, but kind of. And so he was like, "Where you want to go? You want to go to Applebee's? Like, where you want to go?" And I was like, "Y'all want to go to Applebee's?" And they was like, "Yeah, Applebee's cool." And so he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." So he was like, "Let me run home right quick. Excuse me," and change clothes because he had jumped in the pool. And he's like, "And I'm going to meet you at Applebee's." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." So we like, and I was like, "You should." I was like, "You come. You're not gonna be leaving me up at Applebee's." And so his homeboy was like, "Man, I don't want to go to no Applebee's. I don't want no Applebee's." And so he was like, "Why not? What's wrong with Applebee's?" He was like, "Nah, man, I want to go to McDonald's. I want to go to McDonald's." We not too bougie at this point in time to where we feel like, cause well for them it wasn't a date. And still, even if it was a date for me, number one, I know him. I've known him since I was a kid. And then McDonald's don't. I don't care. I eat McDonald's. Feed me. I'm a senior in high school. Baby, who cares about that? Even though he had offered Applebee's. So his homeboy was like, "Nah, let's go to McDonald's." And I think his homeboy kind of did McDonald's because I had two homegirls with me. And maybe he felt like he had to pay for them, or just in case he had to pay for them. But my girls had their own money. We were taught to never go anywhere without your own money. And even if we didn't have money, we had friends who would be like, "I got you." Like it would not even be a second thought, right? So yeah, so I guess maybe that's why his homeboy brought up McDonald's or whatever. I don't know, but then McDonald's was lit. Like McDonald's food was cheap and good. I don't at that time. Like to be, you had to be there. I think y'all missed out on a lot. Anyway, you had to be there because McDonald's was good. Like the ice cream, the ice cream machine worked all the time, baby. We got Sundays on the daily. Like it was nothing to pull up and order um a, a ice cream cone or a strawberry sundae. And I think they had like, no, I'm mixing that up. No, yeah, they had like two different flavors all the time. Like the strawberry, of course, at the point in time was popular. I missed the strawberry sundae from McDonald's. I don't know why they took it away. But yeah, like I baby, it was nothing for us. We could get our dollar menu was we big food. Like if we could get full off the dollar menu. Like our dollar like Wendy's, our biggie dollar dollar fries was this big. Like yeah. So anyway, so he was like, "Well, I want to go to McDonald's." And so he was like, "Y'all cool with McDonald's?" He was like, "It's cool. Which McDonald's? It don't matter." And so he was like, maybe to the one that's close to, cause how many? Yeah, we got two. So he was like, maybe to the one that's close to, cause he was like, that'll be close to my house, and that way, like I could get there. But McDonald's didn't close at 11; it closed at like 12. It wasn't 24 hours at the time. It closed at 12. So they gave him like a little extra hour or whatever. So he was like, maybe to the one that's close to the Blockbuster, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, cause we had Blockbuster then. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So it was only one Blockbuster in the city. So I knew which McDonald's he was talking about. So we pulled up to that McDonald's. Again, I think dude was like thinking he had to pay for homegirl and classmate, but homegirl and classmate went ahead and ordered their food, and they was like, "Angel, we gonna sit over here, and let you and your boyfriend sit together or whatever." And so I was like, "Girl, that's not my boyfriend." And they was like, "You said it was your boyfriend." He said you was his girlfriend. I said, "We just said that at the stove." I was like, "Nothing is official." I was like, "Nothing is official out of our mouth anyway." And so she was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "But it's whatever," and I was like, "Yeah, I get it, it's cool or whatever." And so they was like, "Oh well, no, if that, if you cool with us sitting at the table, then we'll sit to the table." And I was like, "Yeah, let's sit at the booth and until they get here or whatever, and then I'll move." Because he was buying my food, and I was like, "And I'll move because he buying my food." And so they was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So they had already bought their food, right? So when they walk in, like it was him, his homeboy, I think, well, yeah, his homeboy and his uncle. And so he was like, when he walked in, he was like, why y'all bought y'all food already? And so they was like, oh, we're taught to have always have our own money and don't assume because nobody said that they were buying our food. So he kind of looked at the dude because, as I stated, I think the dude said McDonald's because you felt like you had to buy the food or whatever instead of Applebee's. At this point in time, Applebee's had deals just like they have deals now. The deals were cheaper, to be totally honest. So it was like, but you know how some men are. Anyway, so yeah. So anyway, um, yeah. So he kind of gave the dude a look, and so he was like, "My bad," you know what I'm saying? And like went to the counter. So he was like, "Come on, order your food." So I walked up and I ordered my food, and he ordered his food, and so he was like, "We all gonna sit in the booth," and I was like, "Yeah, like I'm not gonna leave my homegirls here by themselves." And I wanted to front in old homeboy face, like, "Baby, you're not needed. You're not needed. Who told you that they wanted to talk to you anyway?" You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, so he tried to be funny. I won't say he tried to be funny. I guess he felt away because he ended up sliding them money for their food. And so he was like, "Oh, I was gonna buy y'all food. I was gonna buy y'all food." And they, kind of looked at each other and kind of looked at him. Baby, country girls, it's a whole different standard. So we sat there talking or whatever till it got close to, time for them to close, and then we getting ready to go to the car because I had to be home anyway. Like, so I was like, yeah, I gotta go anyway. So it's like at this point in time, it's like 11:30, and I still have to get to the country and then drop them off and get home by midnight. So it's like, yeah, I gotta go. So yeah, I got a curfew or whatever. So he was like, oh, okay. He was like, call me, page me when you get home. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So, um, yeah, so we end up like leaving or whatever and end up going, like, I dropped the girls off, end up going home. So during this time, like, I would say the next week, like, we're talking on the phone, we're having a good time, like paging me, like it's like paging me when you get home from school, let me know, like we're just talking but having a good time at it, right? So, and he started coming to the house. Of course he knows, like he was like, I kind of forgot. He was like, I think I kind of remember, but I kind of forgot. And so I was like, well, you just get off this exit and then you take it straight. You literally take it straight. You keep on one main road and you take it straight until you're turning. At this point in time, the street was named Belleville, and I was like, you turn on Belleville Road. And so he was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah. So he turned on Belleville, and I was like, you can't miss my house. My house is a 2-story house in front of the church. So he pulled up, and so he used to come over like all the time, right? And so within this week, so by this, let's just say we had been hanging out a lot after, like me after school. We talking on the phone, and we really digging each other. So let's say by Thursday, he was like, I want you to be my girlfriend, like officially, like you're my girlfriend. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, I agree. Like, I was cool with it because I was literally having a good time, right? I was like, yeah, I was cool. I was cool with it. I was literally having a good time with it. So I agreed. It was no problem. So it wasn't like anything changed from that Thursday to us agreeing to be boyfriend and girlfriend to that Monday. Like everything was still cool, right? Because that Saturday, like me and my mom, like my mom would run errands, and so he was like, well, you gonna be in the city, stop by and see me. So I told my mom, I said, instead of me running errands with you, drop me off at DJ house. And so she was like, she gave me a look. She was like, and I was like, what? And so she was like, so you and DJ, like, y'all dating? I was like, oh, no, DJ's my boyfriend. And so I was like, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I accepted. And so she was like, okay. And so I was like, yeah, so instead of, instead of me running around, the errands with you in the city, you could just drop me off at his house, and then when you get done, you come pick me up. And so she was like, okay, that's fine. And so she was like, that's fine. So I drove because I was like, I'll drive because I know where he lives. So I drove to his house, And then I was like, yeah, you just pick me up. And so she was like, his mom need to come outside to let me know, like, it's cool that you're here. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So when I, went and knocked on the door, and he came and like he hugged me and then kissed me on the cheek. And so he walked to the car, and so he was like, hey, how you doing? Because of course he knew of my mom, because my mom is his sister's mother. So he was like, hey, how you doing? So she was like, how you doing? And so she was like, where's your mom? Because I need to know it's okay that I'm leaving Angel here. And so he was like, oh, okay, yeah. So he went and got his mom out of the backyard. And she came out, she was like, yeah, it's fine. She was like, it's okay. She was like, I remember Angel, it's okay. Yeah, she could be here. And so she was like, and my mama's in here too. Like, they're not in here by themselves. And my kids are in here as well, because he had younger siblings. And so she was like, okay, I just want to make sure it was okay that she could be here. And so she was like, yeah, it's fine. She's safe. She's fine. She was like, no problem. She was like, it's amazing that it's like full circle. Like, they used to play together, now they boyfriend and girlfriend. So my mom was like, oh, I was a Capricorn. I was a Capricorn. Anyway, so she was like, okay, Angel, like, I'll let you know, like, when I come back, like, I'll come to get you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So, like, we're sitting in the living room, because we're sitting in the living room watching TV, canoodling, canoodling, facey. What? My cousin used to call it necking. My cousin's mom called it necking. We sitting in the living room necking or whatever. And so so his little brother, he was trying to get his little brother out of there, because his little brother was watching TV. So he would constantly like throw the pillow at him, like, get out of here. Get out of here. So, cause like he would put the pillow up so like we could kiss or whatever. And so he was like, the little boy would be like, oh, they kissing. He was like, get out of here. Get out of here. And so I was like, it's funny. I was like, let it be. Like, cause he in here watching like cartoons. Let it be. Like, we're interrupting him, right? Cause you were in your room. I came to visit. We can't go to your room. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we're kind of interrupting him. And so he was like, it's whatever. So he, kind of laid his head on my shoulder. So we sitting there watching cartoons with the little brother. So the mama came, and so she was like, she got the little brother. And so she was like, come outside with me. So he was like, okay, like, didn't think nothing of it. And so when he left, that's when, of course, like, we started kissing or whatever. And so then he was like, can I tag you? Do y'all know what tag mean? Tag at this point in time means a hickey. Like, a hickey lets dudes know, like, somebody. So, like, she got somebody. So that was a tag. Like, they would put hickeys on your neck or wherever to tag you, to let you know, like, you're taken. When you're not nowhere for them to be seen, nowhere around, they tag you. So yeah, so so yeah, so I was like, yeah, that's cool, cause he's my boyfriend. So I'm not thinking nothing of it. And at this point in time, I have long hair, so it's like I can, for school, like I can put it down. But at this point in time, I was like, I got a ponytail, like my hair is pulled back in a ponytail, like in a bun, which I wore often. I was like, you want to tag me today when I got my hair pulled back in a ponytail, and I'm getting back in the car with my mama. And so he was like, babe, just come on, just let me tag you. And I was like, it's whatever. Yeah, just go ahead and tag me. At this point in time, I was like, it's nothing. I'm a senior anyway. Right? So he tags me. Like, you basically, like, you not sitting there like a vampire, but like you kissing, caressing, then you start sucking, and then till you pull it out or whatever, right? So when I'm getting ready to, like, at this point in time, maybe you're doing that maybe for a good 10-15 minutes, I would say. And so then you look back and you was like, yeah, that should last for a good 2 or 3 days, enough time for me to because I'm gonna be real busy, this weekend. So that's enough time, just in case I don't see you and you walking around, or you with your friends, them dudes know, like, you taking. That's what a tag was. So I started laughing because at this point in time, like I'm giddy, but this is the honeymoon phase, and I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? What female don't want the man claiming her, like her man claiming her? You know what I'm saying? Like at this point in time, and I'm a senior again. Hello, I'm a kid. Work with me. So anyway, so we getting ready to leave, like we walking out, and his mom started. She's talking, "Oh, y'all, he done tagged you and everything. That is too cute." His mama was totally different from my mama, of course. So she was like, "Girl, you," she was like, "You, you allow." She was like, "Girl, you allow him to tag you, and you get in the car with your mama." And I was like, "Yeah, it's cool." I was like, "I'm a senior." She was like, "Okay," cause you kind of caught the vibe when my mama left, right? So I got in the car. So my mama had got over because I had drove over there. So she got out of the car and got and got in the passenger seat, and I'm driving back, right? So I'm, backing out, and as I'm backing out, you talking or whatever. And so she was like, "Where you want to go eat it?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't care wherever you going, cause that's literally how I got so-called like started the tradition on payday, like with Tyler. It was like you pay your bills. After you pay your bills, what's left over from there, like you go out to eat, you spend time. Like that's literally what she would do. Pay bills, run errands, grocery shop. When all of that is out the way, whatever's left over, okay, we go get something to eat from a particular place, and then we spend time. We go home and we watch movies, something like that, right? So I was like, "Oh yeah, it don't matter." So I was like, "Just let me know so I know where to pull up in the drive-through at." And so as I'm, turning, looking, cause for me to get out, get out of the, to get on the other side of the street, of course, like I gotta look both ways to make sure like I can pull out in the traffic. And so as I'm doing this, I hear her say, "Oh my God." And so, like, I'm looking, I was like, "What?" Because I'm thinking like, I'm pulling out in front of a car or something. I'm like, "What? What happened? What happened?" She was like, "You let that boy put that hickey on your neck? That's so tacky. That's so tacky." And I was like, "Ma, it's called a tag." And so she was like, "What?" And I was like, "It's called a tag. Like, it lets people know, like, you're not single when he's not around." She was like, "Oh my God, that's the dumbest thing ever. That's so disrespectful. That's so disrespectful." And I was like, "How is that disrespectful?" She was like, "Angel, that's so disrespectful. That looks absolutely disgusting." And I was like, "Okay." She was like, "Stop letting him kiss on you like that." She was like, "Even if he has to do that, put it someplace where nobody can see it. At least you could have let him do that when you had your hair down, where I didn't have to see it. That looks absolutely horrible." I was like, "Okay." So she was like, "Yeah, so yeah, that wherever you want to go to eat, I don't care." So now the vibe is off because now you have talked, talked about me. You got me looking crazy. Like it's like it wasn't for me. It's like it wasn't a big deal because that was the end thing of like your boyfriend letting other people know like you taken. It wasn't a ring. Like we don't live in the same city. I live in the country. He live in the city. So it was like, yeah, like I don't get it. I don't know. I ain't get it. I ain't get it. And this was before the street pharmacist. So this was the beginning of my senior year when this was going on. So anyway, I was like, okay. So anyway, so we go get something to eat, we go home, it's whatever. So I paid him when I got home, and so he was like, "What you doing?" And so I was like, my mom was very upset about the tag, and so he was like, "Yeah, I kind of figured." He was like, "My mom came and talked to me and was like, her mom is totally different. You shouldn't have did that." She was like, "I think it's cute." She was like, "I know what it means." She was like, "But her mom probably is not going to be very happy about it. You're going to have to be real careful." So she was like, "Probably be on your guard." And I was like, be on guard for what?" And so he was like, "Because your mom probably not, she's not going to like me." And I was like, "No, it's fine. It's cool." And so he was like, "All right." So anyway, so he was like, "So I got to work this weekend." He was like, "I'm going to be very busy. So just page me. Like, just let me know. Like, I'm gonna say how you say it. Just page me to let me know like your every move." And I was like, what do you mean? And so he was like, let me know like your every move. Like where if you at your homegirl house, page me, let me know like, hey, I'm at my homegirl house. Like if you leave the house, let me know, page me, let me know you're getting ready to leave the house. You know, just let me know. Like let me know where you are. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like that kind of now I'm already skeptical about relationships anyway, but it was kind of smooth in the beginning because like I knew of him. Like it was kind of some kind of comfort. So I didn't make it like a big deal, if that makes sense. But anyway, I didn't go anywhere anyway, so it was nothing. And then when you tell me like you're busy, I'm the type of person where I don't bother you like that. So he had ended up like calling me. So when he had called me, because I had my own line, so he had called me, and so he was like, "What you doing?" And I was like, "Just sitting here watching TV." And so he was like, call my. He was like, "Page me," and I was like, "You just called me." And he was like, "No, page me. Like I want you to hear something. Page me." And so I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I hung up and then paged him. So when I paged him, he had a message. He had music playing in the background. He was like, "Yeah, this is DJ, your infamous, famous DJ. This leave a message, let me know, etc., etc." Which because he can like his, you can leave a voicemail. And so he was like, "Let me know what you need, first business, etc., etc." And then he was like, "And shout out to my lovely girlfriend. I miss you, babe. I can't wait to see you." And then he would turn up like this song. I don't remember the song, but I was like, "Oh, okay, okay." Like I was digging it, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So like I paid once I hung up, I paged him again, so he called me back. Cause remember, long distance. And so he was like, "You like it? You like it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I love it." And I was like, "That's what's up. Okay, yeah, I love it." Right? So after he had got done this weekend, after being busy, excuse me, after he had got done with that weekend being busy, he was like, "Babe, like I want to see you. Like, is it okay for me to come see you?" So I was like, "Yeah." So he was popping up almost, I would say, every other day. Like he had somebody bring him to my mom's house. Of course, I would ask my mom if it was okay for him to come over. At this point in time, Nightmare is gone. So she would agree with it, but she didn't like it. And I was like, "No, it's cool. Like nothing's gonna happen. Like he can only stay for the amount of time that you allow, whatever." And I was like, "It's cool." And so she was, because I was like, he coming from the city. Like it's not like he live in the country. I was like, he coming from the city, like, and he works. Like, come on, like I'm a senior. So she was like, "Yeah, it's cool. It's whatever." So we would sit there, like literally nothing would happen. He knew, like I was a virgin. He knew about the stuff that happened to me, so he wasn't pressuring me into that or whatever. Like it was flowing. Again, there was a little few like that first text me your every move, little red flag, and like yeah, right. So this one particular phone call, like he had left. He was like, "Babe, I'm gonna call you when I get home," and I was like, "Okay, cool." So when he gets home, he calls and like we're talking, and at this point in time, like I would say, let's just say it's a Sunday, and we're talking, and I was like, "Okay, I gotta get off the phone because I gotta get ready for school," and so he was like, "I'm paying for the call, like it's cool," and I was like, "No, I gotta get ready for school because I gotta get ready for school, like." School is important to me. Like I'm trying to get out of here. I gotta get ready for school. And so he was like, "But I love you, and I want to talk to you. Like fall asleep on the phone with me." And I was like, "I have to go take a shower. I have to get ready for school." Oh, so like it's somebody else. When I tell y'all it was and I was like, "What? It's somebody else? It's somebody else? You trying to get off the phone to talk to somebody else?" No, I'm telling you, I'm getting off the phone to get ready for school. Like, good night. I gotta go to sleep. And I was like, and then we can't be on the phone when my mama get here, cause I can't be on the phone after midnight. All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, well I'll see you tomorrow after school. And I was like, okay. So hung up the phone, like kind of took that in, and it was like, okay, that was weird. But anyway, so go to school. So Nia asked, Like, everything good? Like, what's going on with you and DJ? Everything good? And I was like, yeah, everything okay. I was like, it's kind of weird though. And so she was like, what you mean? And so I told her about how he wanted me to page him to let him know my every move. She was like, yeah, that's weird. And I was like, and then he kind of switched on me last night. I was like, it was literally like a switch. How you went from I'm trying to talk to somebody else when I had been on the phone with you for hours. I've been on the phone with you for hours. And so she was like, yeah, that's kind of weird too. And I was like, well, maybe, he was just having a bad day or whatever. So anyway, after that, it was like, okay. So he had came over, like we sitting, talking as normal. Like I had chores. Like, so I would do my chores. And like he was standing in the kitchen when I'm washing dishes. We'd be sitting there talking. Sometimes it would just be him and his homeboy or him and his uncle. It would be the same people that's there all the time that would bring him, right? And so like we would just sit there and talk and have a good time or whatever. And so his homeboy was like, you ain't got no friend for me. You ain't got no friend for me. I was like, nah, you kind of messed yourself up when you didn't want to pay for McDonald's. I said, when you didn't want to pay for Applebee's and you pushed out McDonald's. And he was like, oh man, no, come on, tell him to give me a chance. Tell him to give me a chance, because he was eyeing homegirl. His homegirl was thick. She was absolutely gorgeous. And so I was like, yeah, you messed up your chance. Now, mind you, I had never said anything, but I knew, because it's like once we catch a vibe, most country girls, it's like you don't even have a you don't even have a chance. It's like, no, thank you, politely, no. So yeah, so he was like, oh man, oh man. So yeah, he was like, hey, can I use your bathroom? And I was like, yeah, it's cool. So he went to the bathroom, and so I'm sitting to the table, like we're sitting at the kitchen table, and DJ sitting beside me. And so when homeboy gets up to go to the bathroom, DJ squeezes my wrist, and I was like, what are you doing? He was like, you were smiling a little bit too much on him. You think he cute? Like, you think he handsome? And why he's saying this, like he's squeezing my wrist tighter and tighter. And so I was like, DJ, what's your issue? Like, let me go. I was like, you're sitting here and you heard him ask by somebody else. Let me go. And so he lets me go. But you're doing that like you were squeezing my wrist like to hurt me. So I was like, okay, yeah, no. This is not gonna work. This ain't high school angel. Red flags. Red flags back then. You may get one or two, you may get three, and then it's like, I gotta find a way out. Oh, grown adult angel, if I really like you, child, I'll be ignoring the red flags. but like previous, like if I ain't feeling you, the red flags be popping up, and I'll be like, yeah, no, thank you, it's a no. But if I like you, baby, I'm blind. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, so I was like, okay, yeah, I gotta find a way out of this. So he leaves, and then once he gets home, he calls me. And when he's on the phone, he's constantly saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you so much, I love you so much, I love you so much. Y'all, all of this has taken place when we decided that we were boyfriend and girlfriend. It's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. I love you, I love you, I love you so much. I love you, I love you so much. You love me? Say you love me. I love you is something that I don't play with. That's not something that I play that I play with. I can tell you like I like you. I'm digging you, like I want to be your girlfriend, like I want to, but I'm not at the I love you situation. I love you, I love you, I love you so much. I love you so much. This makes me feel so weird. At this point in time, it was like, girl, you got to get out of this. You got to get out of this. So I had decided, I was like, we need to take a break. Like, we need to break up, because this is not it. This is not it. Like the text me your every move, the squeezing my wrist. No, because I had made it very clear to myself, like I did not want to be in any situations like my mom, as far as like I felt like she deserved so much better when it came down to a man, and I just did not want to put myself in the situations like she did. Like I just felt like she deserved so much better. So yeah, so it was more like I would never put myself in a situation where I continually let a man disrespect me. Child, never say never. Anyway, the things we do for anyway. Anyway. Anyway, so yeah. It was like I gotta get out of it. I gotta get out of this. So it was nothing for me back then. Like I was real, but like my mom used to say, girl, you brazen. Real bold with it. So after school, like I had made the decision. I had told nobody about him squeezing my wrist or whatever. And I had told him like when I was like, because I knew he was gonna call. So because literally it was like time I got out of school, he was timing like, oh, you should be home by this time. Like literally time I'm walking through the door, like the phone is ringing. Yeah. And so like I knew he was gonna call, so I was sitting waiting by the phone. So he called, I picked up, and he was like, hey man, how was school? Like how you doing today, etc. etc. And I was like, listen, I think we're moving too fast. And so he was like, what you mean we're moving too fast? And I was like, because you're saying I love you, I love you, I love you. And I was like, and I don't love you. And you don't deserve that. I was like, we don't even know each other's favorite color. Like, how are you saying you love me? And I'm not on that level, so I feel like we're moving too fast. I think we can, we need to pull away from each other because I'm not giving you the same feeling that you're giving, like that you're giving me, and I don't think that's fair. So he was like, "Are you serious? Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Angel, no, no, I don't want to break up. I don't want to break up. I'm gonna come out there and I'm gonna come see you. I'm gonna come see you." And I was like, "No." He was like, "Yeah, no, no, I'm gonna come see you. I'm gonna come see you." And so he hangs up. So for me to cover my ass, let me call my mom and I was like, hey, is it okay for DJ to come? Like, mind you, you not waiting for an answer. She like, yeah, it's okay, because he had been coming all the time anyway. And so she was like, yeah, it's okay. So I was like, okay, cool. So he shows up, him and his homeboy. So him and his home like that, he was like, you really want to break up? You really want to break up? And I was like, yeah, like I just think we're moving too fast. And so he was like, I can't believe this, man. I can't believe this. And it's like he's walking around in the living room, like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Like, you turning around and around in circles, like, I can't believe this, man. I can't believe this. Like, you getting louder and louder. So I'm sitting at the kitchen table, right? And it's me and homeboy. And so he's like, I'm going to use the bathroom. I'm going to use the bathroom. So he goes, and so homeboy was like, you really want to break up? And I was like, you telling me you love me over and over, and it's only been 2 weeks. And I was like, and it's other things too. And I was like, I just think we need to break in. And I was like, and I want him to concentrate on his DJing, because there was rumors going around, like the girl they were saying like the girlfriend was cutting into his business, like he's not as good as he used to. I think it was just hate, but I don't want to cut into your business either. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so yeah, so he was like, you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. Mind you, when he showed up, no, hold on. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm sure. So he came out of the bathroom, and so he sat at the table and he just stared at me like this. For a good 5 minutes. Like we just and I looked at homeboy and he kind of like, it was like you understood. Like that moment, it was like, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like something something's not clicking. Like all we ever did was kiss, y'all. Like it was nothing, right? Hold on. Oh, like connection, none of that. Like we just kiss. Him sucking on my neck on repeat. Nothing more. So yeah, it was freaking me out. So after, like before he leaves, he's like, you sure? You sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. Like I'm sure. So he leaves, right? So that it's not funny. That Monday, there was an announcement made that the phone calls from the city to the country were no longer long distance. Were no longer long distance. He was paying for it. I wasn't. My mama would kick my if I was calling long distance like that and talking. So he ended up calling me, right? And so he was like, wow, now it's no longer long distance. All that money that I've spent $80 talking to you in the last 2 weeks. So I'm the type of person, again, we were, raised to like, you should always have your own money. You should, and I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, so you want half of the phone bill? And when I said that, he got quiet. Because I don't think you were expecting me to be like, oh, okay, you wanted to pay half? Like, so it's like, hello? Do you want half of the phone bill because you feel like, it was a waste of your time or whatever? Do you want half of the bill? No, 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 I'll pay for it. And I was like, oh, okay. So he was like, well, no, I was just calling just to talk. And I was like, oh, okay. So like I'm sitting there quiet because I was like, I don't understand. Like I said, space. Like we don't need to talk to each other. We don't. This is. You're calling around the same time like you would call when I'm in school. Like I'm not understanding. And so he was like, so it's a problem. So it's a problem that I'm calling you. It's a problem. There went the switch. You was being nice, kinda. And now it's like there's that tone, there's that attitude. And I was like, no, it's not a problem. But if I'm saying that we need space, and I'm saying like we need to pull away from each other right now because you're moving a little too fast, that means like you don't call. You're calling the same time that you normally call. Oh man, like you use me, you're just like all the other girls. And I was like, use you for what? You use me for my fame, for my name around the city. I don't even live in the city. Don't nobody even know who I am. So how could I use you and I don't even live in the city? Oh man, like nah, you don't understand. You don't understand how I feel about you. You don't understand how much I care about you. And I was like, I'm not saying that it's a wrong feeling. I'm just saying that it's too fast. We've only decided to be boyfriend and girlfriend and in a relationship 2 weeks, and you love me. I don't even know nothing about you. Excuse me. And you're asking me to say I love you back, and I can't give you that. So I don't feel you deserve that. I feel you deserve to have somebody who's going to, give you the same energy. All right, yeah, it's okay. I spent $80. I was like, listen, like I can drop off the next time that I'm in the city. I can drop off the $80 to your mama house. No, don't worry about it. I got it. It's all good. I at least thought we could be friends. But clearly we can't be that either. So it's all good. And hung up. So I was like, okay. So Nia had asked me, she was like, girl, like y'all still together or whatever? And I was like, no, I broke up with him. And so she was like, oh, how did that go? And I was like, it was kind of weird. But it's whatever. So like the next week, y'all, I had somebody calling my phone and hanging up. I knew it was him, but because you would call at the same time that you would call when it was like high school, like when I would get out of school or whatever, like the same time you during that whole week, because like you were consistent, you would call like the same time. But anyway, so yeah, that's the story time of I was in love with a DJ. I really wasn't. He was, and I just felt like you was moving a little too fast. We was seniors. We was just starting our senior year where I was just starting my senior year, and you loved me within a week and a half, and it was like it's a no. And then there was other red flags too. So yeah. I love you the mostest because you're definitely the dopest in real life. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.